Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm Eric from Wheelstacks Neighborhood. Nice to have you all here today. What a wonderful evening. It's raining. So I hope everyone can to learn something today. So we will again have our Shabil and Battery to actually hope that you all know more about the what we actually about our topic today, which is the real life mobile apps case study. Okay, so I don't want to waste your time here, so we may start now. Vetri, are you there? Vetri or Shamil, are you there?
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Eric.
Yeah. So I will pass I will pass everything to you now. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So all right, so a very good afternoon to all of you. I guess the climate here in Singapore is a bit cloudy as well, but I hope your spirits are much more brightened. So we'll try to make it as simple as possible with all these tutoring sessions to kind of give you a better understanding of the platform and allow you to build some applications, and prepare yourself to win that challenge prize money, which is quite enticing at first glance. Okay, so what are we here for? So the understanding is that we need to give you some more inputs, like maybe give you more inputs on how to actually work around the platform while building your app, and some of the clarifications that you might have. So what we thought was, we'll take up a case study, and then, so what we have done is we have taken up a part of a real life case study, which is actually being used by some of the SMEs here in Singapore. And we are just going to take a tip of the iceberg. Like basically the application is quite sophisticated, but what we'll do is we'll be doing it part by part. So today's session is typically going to be something that will cover a good start on the app that probably you'll be building and enhancing along as you go along the different weeks and days that you have before the challenge, before the submission of your works. But just to get a quick understanding, like the last sessions that we had was typically some sort of an overview, hoping that you're going to go also to the e-learning pages and get some understanding of how the platform works. But nevertheless, I do have Vetri with me, who is the specialist here. He will be taking over the second part of this session. So my session will be quickly to introduce you to the case study application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask you to download this particular app. So just give me a second, and then we will start deconstructing this particular app for the session. So just give me a second. So I'm going to share this link. So if you can have this, click on this link and get, on the same page as mine. So I have on my particular screen the app that we are kind of going to, deconstruct. So when I say deconstruct, this app is already the functionalities have already been added. So we're going to just take it out part by part and see what exactly or how exactly this app was built. So let me just preview this app for you. So I'm going to preview this app. So typically you get a splash screen with some info, and you move on to the login screen. So this is an app that allows you to order items, and the items and all the relevant data, the users and the items are all stored in Firebase database. So we have actually set up the connection to the Firebase database as well. And later I'll just be sharing that link as well. And when Vetri goes into the app, he will also, highlight a bit on that. So typically, somebody who wants to use this app, for example, would probably register if he's not already a registered user. So he would probably go in and, type out his details. His password. And he would register. So when the registration is done, then probably he would, log in to this app. What did I enter? So when he logs into the app, typically, like what we're going to start off with, we're going to build this app. So this current, what I was talking to you about is just, the building blocks. So here we have an option to actually list all the items which are available and allow ordering of these items. So typically all this data that you see here is from the Firebase database with all the relevant information. So here you have the option to actually, order the items based on what you have. And then you can go to your shopping cart. So typically the shopping cart will allow you to submit the order, and an order will be automatically created. So that will be reflected in the backend real-time database. That's your Firebase database. So if you want to view the list of orders, you have the option to actually view based on the order number. You have the option to view the list of. So this is a very simple process, but it can, if you get a good grasp of how this is done, you can beautify this app or you can enhance this app further. But with this basic set, it will give you a better insight on how to actually work around this. So I'm just using this to preview it on my browser because I have not published it yet. So later Vetri will publish it and probably you can download the version of the app. So typically how this app was built is what is going to be the core focus of this particular session. A quick overview of each page and how it was built and the likes. So what would be the necessary ingredients like when you start building any kind of an app? So typically you need to know what kind of benefits or to whom are you addressing this particular app to. It can be a commercial, we are talking about B2B commercial apps. So the idea is to enhance the user experience in terms of using an app instead of carrying his laptop or her laptop around, to do your transactions. So using the mobile phone, you have the option to build such applications and allow them to use, a very seamless paperless way of doing things. So it goes to the level of, the same field sales app or this self-ordering app or whatever you call this particular app has the ability for you to make this a commercial app, which means you can actually build it for customers who probably might not be using such apps. So their field sales or their salespeople, or even if they wish to, allow their users to order items, probably even pay, enable payment options online. This is something which is considered to be a good enough app to even go to market and like get some sort of a commercial value. So when we talk about setting up an app, not just from the commercial aspect but also from the productivity part, it definitely enhances. So what you as an individual would be looking at is, what is it that you need to build and how is it that you're going to build. So you already have decided that you're going to build it with a platform that doesn't need any coding. So you're going to see how it is being done in a while. And you also need to know what or how the user would actually benefit from it. Like, for example, you'll have to think from the user's side of it, like what exactly should an app have? How are the user interfaces designed? And in terms of the role of the users, for example, the role of a user can be somebody who is only handling sales. For example, this particular app, you can actually use this. I mean, the very title here says field sales, for example. So these are people who can, like those drivers who drive their trucks with items inside their truck. So the items inside their truck is usually what we saw in Firebase, for example. So this is typically some sort of a moving warehouse, and they can actually go to all the retail outlets and deliver. I mean, go to the retail outlets to sell the item, collect payment, and typically take those orders on the fly. And this will totally eradicate the need for any paperwork. Like, for example, when he sells the item and creates a sales order, or when he creates a credit invoice, or any of those documents that normally would be required for such a transaction, that's totally removed from the equation. Everything is done from the mobile app, so there's no need for paper. And at the same time, whenever he orders an item, for example, every time he orders a specific quantity, that item is actually being deducted from the stock. So that can also be done real time, which means as he's doing it, it is being updated in the backend database. And this will not require somebody in the back office to sit there, wait for the sales driver to come back with all this, sales invoices, and then consolidate all these invoices and then feed it into the backend ERP or database systems. So that totally removes that the need for such a manual data entry. And at the same time, there's less errors, because there can always be errors or misplaced items, conflicts, disputes. Such things can always happen. So with such a powerful mobile application, you're actually solving a few people's problems. So this is how you generally start off. Like, when you start designing a mobile application, it's not just a commercial part that, okay, I develop this app and I sell it. But that's not the core area. It's all about how you're actually using, or how people are going to use this app finally to derive some sort of benefit. So that's the core area. So in this process of designing, here, if you notice, I have so many pages. All of you know how to create these pages. So what I've done here is typically, I mean, what Vetri has done here is typically create pages and use existing templates. So for example, this screen, he has probably used a splash screen from here. So this is a typical screen that probably he would have used. Likewise, for login, he would have used, you see this splash screens. So you can actually, waste less time by using templates. And a promise to all of you is that these templates would increase. So as of now, you see that because this is more or less like a a typical prototype demo account. So you just have limited, templates, but there will be more templates. That's an assurance I can give. But for the time being, you can live with these templates, and you can also design your own templates. I mean, you can also design your own UI, UX. So it's probably taken the whole process of completing such an app, although it was a few processes, which you're going to finally build, and you'll see probably Vetri will later show you how the whole app looks like. This one is just two options where you just order item and show the order history, but you'll see the whole app. Probably Vetri, if you can show them the whole app that is currently being used, that will also help. So this is how we are going to build a similar app for you, and you're going to build it along with us. So by doing this, you also will get a full overview of all the intricacies of building logic. So for example, if you notice my registration page, for example, where I have a click on the button, you see there's logic that's being built, conditions being checked. So these are the things that you'll be very fluent with. And that's where the tutoring sessions will help. So in today's session, probably Vetri will explain a few of these concepts, but as you proceed, you will start doing it yourself. Like you'll be learning how to do it yourself. And then there's no stopping you. After that, once you get the gist of the ideas, how to actually build these logics, you'll have a quick understanding and you can fly from there. So typically, this is how apps are built. You have to decide how many pages you require for your app, like what kind of an app you're going to build, how many pages. Then you design your wireframe. So the wireframe in this format is build these pages and show the navigation, like how from which page to which page it goes to, so you set up the navigations and the way the whole process flows. And typically, Vetri will also be highlighting a bit on how you can actually debug as you go along. You might have errors, either logical or likewise. So errors that could be debugged, he will show you how to debug as well. So I guess if there is nothing much, we are about to start. So I'll just, before I pass it to Vetri, I would like to know whether there's any questions from your side that I can answer before I pass it to Vetri.
Any question from you all? You all can type in the chat room, or you all can raise your hand up. I can unmute you.
No questions? Okay, good.
If no question, then we will proceed.
Okay, so Vetri, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Hi guys, very good evening to all. Okay, so now for last 30 minutes, Shamil explained the overall process of the app, how it's work and how it's look like. So these are the things Shamil explained, right? Now we are going to some more detail about the process flow of this app, so that we can know the in-depth detail about how the process flow is being constructed in the app using the eMOBIQ platform. So for that, now I'm going to share the screen. Okay, I hope you guys can able to see my Chrome browser screen. Okay, so I will start from here. Okay, so so as we know how to create the pages and tables, everything, right? So usually for this particular app, I'll just give a quick usage of this app first. Okay. So process of this, the usage, main usage of this app, right? This app, we call it a customer self-ordering app. Let's assume we have a store and we provide this app to our store customers. Okay, so the customers can order the product themselves by registering in the app. So that as a store, we receive the orders from customers. So that it's kind of a hassle-free order processing for the customer point of view. They don't need to call anything to the stores. So whenever they need anything, any product from the store, they can log in into the app. Then if they don't have a login, they can create. We have a feature for register. Okay, so after register, they can order. They can order by selecting the products. They can see the cart details, everything. Then after that, they can place the order. So it will be placed into the store people. They can view the orders from using their system. Okay. So in the app, right, once they place the order, customer also can able to see the order history placed by them. Okay, so this is the usage of the app. So it will allow customer to place automatically the order from themselves. Yeah. So this is the usage of the order. So how the backend system works for this app? Okay, all the front end, everything we designed, and flow, everything is constructed in the eMOBIQ platform. So what kind of backend we are using? So we are using Google Firebase as a backend. Okay, so why we are using Google Firebase as a backend? So for the Google Firebase is a real-time database we can use, but it's not mandatory to use the Google Firebase. So we can use any kind of third-party system as a backend. It depends on the customer. It depends on the store requirements. Yeah. So I can say for our eMOBIQ, we can connect any kind of third-party system. So just for the example, I created backend as a real Firebase database. Yeah. So using this Firebase database, whatever the data we sending from the mobile, right? They can create another new system for them for store purpose for the store purpose in order to view the placed order from their customers. Yeah. So all the backend is a centralized data storage place. From that, they can use their system to view the placed orders. And from the eMOBIQ, we just consume the data from the backend in order to place the order. So whatever the order we need from the customer perspective. Yeah. So this is the whole process and usage of the particular for this customer self-ordering app. So as we know now, what is the usage of this app, right? Okay, so how we have to plan to do this app? Okay, so we have to think about the requirement first. Okay, so when client asks us to do the customer self-order app, right? So we need to gather the exact requirement first. Okay, the first question, the app should have a registration option, or the registration done through the manual by the customer, but by the store. So this question we have to ask. So based on this only, we can provide a register option also in the mobile. Okay, there should be a login. Then only we can identify the customers. So once login, how the screen looks like will be. Okay, so we should have a menu screen. Once login, we have to show them that we have to show the customer to the menu screen. So we have to show the customer information like a welcome user. Then we have to keep two menus called item list and order history. So the customer, so for the store customer really need only these two options. What else he need? What else they need actually? So they just going to place the order, right? These two details is more enough. Then below we have an option to log out in case the customer want to log out. Okay. So once you press the item list, what information we have to show? Yes, we have to show the list of items. So for the list of items, what are the details we want to show? We want to show the item code and item name. We want to show the price. Then we want to show the ordered quantity based on the order quantity customer is used to key in. Yeah, so we are also showing the pictures. Okay, so and we have an option to add the quantity. So these are the information we must show to the customer in order to place the order. Then what will be the next step? We have to design the cart page in order to show the cart items. So once they key in the quantity, right? So after that, this quantity item will move it into the cart. So this is the final review. Okay, so these are the items we added, right? Okay, can we place the order or not? Yeah. So if you want to remove any item from cart, yeah, we can remove. If you want to clear the cart, we can clear. So these kind of options we can provide within these cart options also. Yeah. And so that's it. On submit, then the order will submit into the backend. Then how we can ensure the order is created in the backend. So that is the purpose. In the menu page, we provide the option called order history. So based on the order history, once you click this order history, it will redirect to in this page. So it will show the order. It will show the order number and the date the customer placed the order. Yeah. So apart from this, there is an icon for info. So once you click the info icon, customer can see the item, the placed items, order items for the particular order. So this is what we done. Is just a simple process. There is a lot of process maybe can include with this customer self ordering now. So let's say the order is got accepted by the store or not. Yeah. So we can also show this kind of option. So once they accepted the order, then how they can deliver this order to us. Either is a self collection to the store, or they will send it to by the courier or something from alternative for courier, something like that. So these are the information also. If you want, we can show. So the main thing is like based on the customer and the store requirement, we can do this CSO APLA. So for considering this requirement, I just create a simple process in order to achieve the customer self-ordering app. So now we know how many pages we used for this app and the process about this app, the objective for this app, we know like. So totally we are using around 7 pages for this app. Okay, so and we know the each pages and usage of this each page. So if you see the register page, if you see the splash screen, so whenever we start the application, the app will start using this splash page. Then register page we use to register in order in case if the customer is a new customer, then they have to register using this. Yeah. So straight away we allow them to register. Then immediately they can able to log in also after successful register. So usually the CSO app we will not prefer this kind of registration. So whenever we try to register, then there should be approval process in their end in order to approve for the login purpose. So it's a kind of some background verification to ensure that the customer can log in to view the store items or not. Yeah. So now for the sample app purpose, we just allow them to straight away register and they can log in the app. Yeah. So usually for the login page, we allow them to key in username and password, and by pressing the login button, they can log in. The same page, I provide the register option also. So after the splash page, the app will redirect into this page. If from there, user can able to choose they want to register the user or they want to log in. Yeah, it's a simple maybe this process we all of know. All the apps will following the same process. Yeah. So the third one is the menu page. Once successful login, we are redirecting the menu page. Here we have a two option to view the item list and order history. Order history we already know. This order history will show the placed orders information. Yeah. For the item list, it will show the list of items, list of available items for the store perspective. Then customer can place the order from here by entering the quantity. And here we have a option to go into the cart. Once they click the cart, they can see the ordered items in the cart page. So this is the cart page we designed. Is similar like item list page. So it will just show you only the ordered items. So from there below we have a submit order button. So by pressing this, then we can create an order using the backend. Yes. So this is the whole process of the app. Now what we are going to do, is some in depth, we are going to see some more details yeah, in the app lab. Okay. So actually, how we can building the process for this app. So as we are more clear about the requirement, now the next question is how we are going to build the app. Okay, one thing here is all the pages I created, right? I used only the pre ready templates. Yeah. So I haven't created any single page for myself. I just pull all the pages from our template. Then from there, I just do the bit alignment and I'll make it ready for the it will fit into the process of the app. So let's say for the login, for the splash screen, right? If you see the splash screen, I get it from here, field sales, and there should be a flash screen. So this splash screen, I just use this template for designing the splash screen and register. Then register is a kind of a listing. Yeah. So sorry, registration is kind of a form templates. Yeah. So I use these templates and I remove the unwanted fields. I just do the simple adjustment based on my requirement by correcting this name, email, and password. Yeah. Third thing is a login. Login, we have a default template here. Then this template, no need a much alignment. So all the things already there in the template, then we can straight forward. It's ready to use for it. It will 100% fit for our requirement. Yeah. Fourth one is the menu page. Yeah. So here we have a menu or screen template, right? So I don't want to see all the menus. I just hide or deleted from the existing template. So I just I just did a simple alignment in order to fit into our requirement. Yeah. The fifth one is the item list, right? This one I took it from this listing screen. So here we have a two kind of listing page. So we have a detailed information in the list, then you can use the second template. If you want a simple information, we can use the first template. So I use the first one because we are going to show only the four information, around 4 to 5 information for the item. So that is the reason I picked the first template. Cart is a similar like item list, the same listing thing. Yeah. Fifth one is the history. History also is a kind of a listing scheme. Whatever the history is kind of a list, right? So we are having a listing scheme. So before moving to this much detail into the app, right? First, we have to understand what is splash, what is login, what is a menu. So if you see any app, right? So this will be the default words the technical words we are using. Okay, the app definitely should have a splash screen. Irrespective of any app in your mobile, also if you see, let's say for example, if you click the Twitter icon, right? So in your mobile screen, so by default, there will be a blue screen with a Twitter logo will appear, right? This is we call as a splash screen. Okay. So because why we are using this splash screen? So there should be some data need to be loaded initially when you open the app itself. So actually this process we are doing at the background, but for the user experience, right? We are showing splash screen as a front end. Yeah, that is the purpose. Most of the 99.9% apps are using splash screen in order to load the needed information at a time of open the app itself. Yeah. Next one is a login screen. Okay, login screen also definitely need for all the apps, but the question here is, do we need this login screen for every time they open the app? That is up to the requirement. Let's say for Twitter under, it will just allow them to log in only one time. Whenever you have a new installation of the Twitter app, then it will ask you to key in the username password. Once you log in, right, then it will show the information in the app itself, within the app itself. When you open the second time, it automatically bring you to the home page instead of login page. Yeah, this designing is up to the requirement. Yeah, so if customer want to show the login page whenever they open the app, then we have to show. Otherwise, if the customer don't want to show this login screen, once login, successful login, then we can store this information. Again, if you open the app, then from the splash screen directly, it will move to the menu page. Yes, we can do that one also. Yeah. But for this app, yeah, it will all the times it will show the login screen. Yes. Third one is the menu page, right? For the menu page, yeah. For the Twitter and all, we don't have any particular menu page. If you see any other app, like it's kind of a modernized app, but this eMOBIQ, we are mostly developing the business apps. Okay, for business app, definitely need this menu screen in order to because our users and all sometimes is the layman users. Yeah, so let's say for the drivers, we are using the field service app for the drivers, right? So drivers, we cannot expect like it's more modern people. Sometimes there will be old people. So for the user experience side, we should keep this kind of templates in order to show the clear information for the users. Yeah, for the user experience, for the menu screen. Okay, so this is what we call menu screen. So menu screen, we cannot say is keeping menu screen as a mandatory for all the apps. If app require this menu screen, yes, we can keep. Yes. Fourth one is a form. Okay, what is the form screen? What is the use of this form screen? Okay, so let's say for we are for Twitter and all, sometimes it's asking the user experience by keying your feedback and making the provide the star kind of thing, right? It's a kind of a forms. It's asking us to fill the forms. So for if our requirement also have this kind of similar process, right, then we can use this template. Yeah. And listing screen is the most important screen template what we have in eMOBIQ. Okay, so for the listing meaning what actually? So to need to show more than one information. Let's say for list of items, definitely it should be more than one. Yeah, so we can list down. So if you see Twitter, right? So each your followers is creating a tweet, right? They're putting a tweet, right? So the each section is one record. So we are the list screen. Actually, the Twitter homepage is the listing screen only. So you can see, if you can scroll, then you can see the each tweet record. So that is the purpose we are using the listing screen. So if you see the Facebook also, the each post is called one record of inside the list. Okay, so that is the so this is the example how we use the listing screen. So inside this record, right? Let's say for this item list, right? So we design like this. Then you can design whatever the way you want. Yeah. So I just do the simple design here like this. So if you want to design something like more fantasy and more fantastic, more realistic, then you can create whatever the UI look that you need. Yeah. So because here, if you see the UI related elements, the properties that we need to design the UI, right, is all about HTML properties. So if you can do, if you can do anything that you need. Yeah. So if you particularly you want to change the color of this item, the quantity, right, you can do. So each elements, each components inside the list view, you can design by using these HTML properties, or in the runtime also you can do. Sometimes we really don't know. Okay, let's say we have to highlight the information by changing the color using the item related information. So meaning is using the listing related information. So in that case, runtime also we can customize these components what we have inside the item elements. Not only for the listing screen, runtime we can control all the designs perspective of the components when you process, when you mid of the process also in the app. It's not a kind of a static. Once let's say if you this color LBL price I'm showing into the green color. Okay, sometimes let's say that there will be a requirement like this. If the price is below above 100, then we have to show it in the blue color. Then we can show, because we have a data, right? We can customize based on any condition. Yeah. So the listing screen will play a major role for most of the apps. If you look any app in your mobile, right, there will be a usage of this listing screen. Yeah. And the detail. Okay, detail screen is what? Like, let's say, detail screen is another kind of a screen. Let's say if you are showing the listing screen, right? So once, let's say you are showing the order information, order list, then if once you click the order list, then it will show the detail information what we have inside the order. So we can use this detail screen. Model screen, actually, what is the use of this model screen? We have a predefined dialog box in the platform itself, but if you want to customize the dialog box, also can. It's not mandatory because no one forcing us to use the so the standard dialog box. Let's say sometimes you can feel maybe the look is not much rich, so maybe you can create and customize the own model screen. Yeah, so that is the reason we are using a model screen. It's similar like the accessing the components we can design. Yeah, so and these are the use. Like if you gather any kind of requirement for any app, right, that you can able to hear these words. So most of the apps will have these kind of templates only. Yeah, so yeah, so this is the explanation of the templates pages. Yeah, so now we are going to show like how we constructed the app. Okay, so I'll show you one by one. Okay, what I did first, I just created the splash page. Okay, after creating a splash page, what I did, I just go into the global configuration. I set up application default page as a splash screen. Why I need to set the application default page? Yeah, so application default page, if it doesn't set this application default page, you have to inform platform to platform particular you have to inform the app configuration place uh, for the application default page. Otherwise, right, when the system doesn't know when you start the app, then what page will be the default page. That is the reason we have a configuration here. Okay, I set a splash screen as a default. Okay, once I created the page splash page, right, then immediately I go into the global configuration. I set the default page. Okay, so what is the functionalities we are going to do in the default page? There is no functionality. The design, everything is done already. Okay, for design perspective, right, how we can design the UI elements, everything is a kind of another session. Maybe the next week's session. We have a expert on UI/UX development, so he will give you more information about how we design the UI/UX. Now we are going to see only the how we can process the app. Yeah. So this splash screen, what is the process we are going to do under this splash screen? There is no process. We just show for our app, I'm saying, but if any other app, right? So if you need to perform any operation, then we have to do these logics by freezing the screen for maybe 2-3 seconds. Yeah, we can do within these 2-3 seconds. So what I did, I just go into the load. I just put the timeout. Okay. Inside our eMOBIQ platform, right? We need to do more practice for usage of these functions. Yeah. So because we have all predefined function, whatever the things that you want to achieve. Yeah. So set timeout is the function. Then we can use this function in order to freeze for 2-3 seconds. Yeah. So here there should be an option to key in how many seconds you want to freeze. Yeah. So I just put 2 seconds. After that, in the S callback, I just return the function called go to page pg login. Yeah. That means when you open the app, then you just wait for 2 seconds. Then after that, you redirect into the login page. So this is the explanation of the logic I constructed. Yes. So you can see here, there is a logical diagram you can see, right? So set timeout. Okay. Then set timeout 2 seconds, then go back, go to page called pg login. These two are the functions what we have in the eMOBIQ platform. So we have more functions. If you see here, these are the functions. If you want to perform any kind of operations, we have a predefined function. Everything we have under this action. Yeah, you can drag and drop into the start. So this is what I'm doing in the splash page. Okay, then how based on the process where it will go into the go to page PG login. So it will move into this page. Okay, so for this page, let's say for the user is installing this app first time, then he's going to this login screen, really he don't have an account to log in. Then the same page we supposed to give this register option. Okay, so for the register option, if you see here, okay, yeah, see, I write the function called go to page PG register. If customer, let's say for the app user, yeah, so we call it as a user. So upon clicking this register, then what action need to be done? We have to redirect into the registration page for the user to register. So that is the reason I call the function called go to page, and I just provide the page name called PG register. So it will automatically go into this page, registration page. So whatever the information we provided here, right, because we designed the page like this, then it will allow user to key in the information for name and email and password, everything. Upon submit, what action I did actually, you can see the flow diagram here. So why I put these conditions, this much conditions? Yes, suppose if they not enter the name, then we should allow to register. No, we supposed not to allow, because these three fields are mandatory field. We have to ensure if users click the submit without entering this information. That is the reason I'm using this conditional. So if any one of these, if suppose user missed up to fill up these things, right, then we have to throw the error. Let's say he is trying to submit without keying the name itself, then we are just throwing the error by showing the dialog. Okay, please input your name first. Yeah, so whatever the design message we can show. So once we ensure all the details are inserted, right, then you can see here, I use raw call. Why I use raw call? I'm not storing this data into my local. I'm just storing, I'm storing all the data into the cloud. So meaning the backend system. So in order to store the data, right, definitely I have to call the web API. So that is the reason I'm using raw call. Why I'm using raw call? Because raw call is we have a raw connector and the global configuration in the services. So I already predefined the main URL and everything. So the raw call, I'm just using the connector in order to push the data. See, I created user and user.json, right? So I use the method called post. If you see in the data here, I just passing this information, email, name, and password from the component value. So I'm just getting all the values from this component information. Then I pass it into the part of web services call. Then we can see this data stored into the backend. Yeah. So if you see here, right, I will show you my backend for you. Okay. I think okay. So here, right, this database I created using the Firebase. If you see here, whenever you try to register, right, all the user information will store it under this. Let's say when Shamil showed the demo, right, he created Shamil1970@gmail.com, name Sha123. See, once he successfully registered, this information will store it on the Firebase Cloud database. Okay. So when you try to log in also, we are retrieving all the user information in order to validate the key in username password is right or wrong. This is how we used to validate with the backend real-time database. example for the Firebase. So similarly, if you have any third-party system, if you have their own data structure, then there should be a user table in order to validate the login. Then we have to querying the username and password compared to the backend database data user table. Then we have to retrieve the information like whether the key in username and password is right or wrong. Based on that, what we have to do? We have to allow them to go into the menu page upon successful login. So that is what I did here. If you see here, then here I call the raw call to retrieve all the users information. Then I store into the local table. Then from the local table I validated whether this username and password, this set of credential is available, is a valid user or not. Yeah. So if you see here, right, in the services, right, you can see I created some record tables. See, I created the table called local table, so L_user. I created the L_product in order to store the product information. Then I created another table called L_cart to store the cart information. Then finally the history we are showing, right, order information, right. So for that purpose, I'm showing the order information. So once you retrieve the information from backend, right, so we are storing into the local table. From there we are validating. So this is how we used to construct the blocks. Yeah. Later, right? Later, I hope we already got the app ID, right? You can go into the detail, then we can see how I use this raw call, how I created the raw call connector. You can see here. I put the URL like this, right? Actually, when you create a real-time database, this already I showed you guys for last session. So when you create a new real-time database, then this will be the base URL. So from there, let's say if you want to access the user table, then user.json is the path we have to put. That one will be on this page, on this call user.json. Yeah. So this is how we used to validate for the user information, the key information by the customer. Yeah. So once successful login, then we are showing the menu detail. This page. So we have to write the logic. Okay, so this everything is right. Okay, so we can get the information from the backend. Yeah, yes, we can get. Then this key and username password is correct. Yes, it's correct. Then we will allow them to go to this page. If not correct, then what we have to do? Then we have to throw the message. Please enter the right credentials. This validation also be done. Yeah. So what information we have to show on the menu page? We're just having two menus, one called order history in order to know the order placed by the particular customer. Then item list to show to place the new order. Yeah. Then logout, of course, we need to log out. The user need to log out. Yes. Then apart from this, we don't have much functionality on the menu screen. Menu screen, there is no process, nothing. When you click this item list, we just redirecting the page. You can see here, I'm just redirecting to the PG item list. Okay, fine. So next one is a PG item list. In the PG item list, this is a very important topic. So how we are going to display the list of items from the backend. Okay, see here, we have a list of products. We can see everything here, right? We have a list of products. We have it on the cloud. Okay, how we are retrieving this information, how we are processing this information, serializing this information and storing into the table, local table. Then after that, how we are binding this local table into the data list in order to show all the items. Yeah, this is what we are going to see now. Okay, so in this page, item list page, right? This action where we need to done. Okay, upon going to this, upon open this page, of course, we have to perform all this operation under load. Load meaning what? When the page load itself, we have to perform certain operation. That is the reason we are using event called load. You can do it on any action is based on the requirement. But let's say if you open the app, you want to something to list down, right? Then the load is the best option to include your logics. Yeah. So I also written all the logics in the load only. If you see here, what we have to written in the load. Okay. First, we have to retrieve the items from backend. Yeah, I did product.json. I get the information. Then you clear the local table called product. Then you map the data that you retrieve from the cloud. Then after that, you insert the data one by one into the local table. Then finally load the data. You load the particular table. In the design perspective, you can see here, I use the data list, the component called data list. We have under this base, we have under this general, the component called data list, right? We definitely use this component in order to display more than multiple items. So if you see here, right, I click the data list, right? You can see here the binder data table, the data set is L_product. If you understand these wordings, definitely it's very easy to construct these kind of pages. Yeah. So after binding this all the data, after designing this page, then binding this data set, then in the load option, you have to retrieve the data from backend, then you have to store it on the local table, then you have to load the local table. Automatically, you can see the list of items in the page. So this is how I load the information. I load this information in the item list. Okay, what will be the next action? Next action, we have option to add the quantity. So what kind of logic I have to need to put in the plus icon? Okay, so when user press this plus icon, right, I have to allow them to key in the quantity. Yeah, then only we know how much quantity the customer need for this product. So what I did, upon clicking this in the action, suppress, no, it's not in the press, click, no, then yeah, I write it on the image component. So I stored this information. I created the setVar. It's a kind of a variable. I said, then I just store the data. So meaning this all the information we store it into the, it will just store the data table record into this variable. Then I'm showing info dialog, enter quantity, number, type. Then we just asking user to key in the quantity. Then based on the key in, we are inserting or updating the cart record. Let's say user have already ordered this item into the cart, we have to update the quantity. If there is no item in the cart, it's a new item, we're trying to add it into the cart, right? We have to insert. It's all about using the function in eMOBIQ. We have to know how to use the function in eMOBIQ. So you can see all the functions available here so that we can take a look for each function, the usage of this function. If really have a struggle to face really what kind of parameters we have to pass it on the function, how we can use this function, then here we have a help. We have all the functions here. So if you see any one of these functions, like for example, you can see all the related information that you required for the help that you needed. You can see all the information, what kind of value you have to pass, everything. So we have extended help information in order to know how we can use the function. Okay, coming back to the topic. So upon pressing this, right, we just get the quantity from the customer. Then we are storing into the, we are managing to store into the cart table. Okay, done. So then immediately we are replacing this quantity information as well. Maybe you guys, I'm not sure you noticed this thing or not. I will try to run it on this in the browser, this app. I will show you something. This is the user I already registered. So I just use the same user in order to display. Yeah. So now we can notice this ordered quantity, nothing is showing, right? When I try to add like 3 item order successfully in the cart, right? You can see the caption is got changed already. Ordered quantity is 3. So that user by user experience, he also ensure that okay, for this particular item we ordered 3 quantities. Then, if you really want to show the ordered quantity, right? Here is the option we provided. This is similar like Flipkart, you know. If you go through any page on the Flipkart, then you can easily, if any e-commerce site, if you go through any pages, then top you can see this cart icon in order to view the cart information. Yes. So how we are showing picture and all in this box, image box, you can see the logic here. In the present value, I put image URL. Because in the product database, right, you can see this image URL. This is the public image URL. Once you assign this value into the image box, right, automatically it will show you the image. Yeah. So after done this, all the process, everything, right? So upon clicking this, then what process we are doing? Let's say if really don't have any item user ordered into the cart, right? Why we need to navigate into the particular page? We can throw the message info dialog called no item found in the cart. If there is an item, then only we are moving redirect into the cart page. Okay. So each upon selecting the each product, as we know, we are already inserting into the cart table, right? We are just loading the cart table and we are just accumulating the amount and we are showing here. Then in the same place, they can submit the order. Why we need this option? This option we use to clear the cart. But the background process, what I'm doing, you know, upon pressing this, I'm just using clear data function to clear this local table. If you use that function, it will clear the data what we have inside the table. Yeah. So once you submit the order here in the footer, you can see I'm just calling the confirmation dialog in order to confirm. Then I just call the raw call to store the order information. That's it. Once successfully ordered, then we automatically redirect into the home page. So this is the flow, right? When user successfully place the order, then we just showing the message, okay, order got placed successfully. Then we have to move to the home page. From there, they can see the order history if they want. Okay. So after successfully place the order, if you see the order history, then we can display the orders created by the particular login user. In the real-time database, if you see, we created the order table, we have a list of orders created. So we have information called email. So we have to filter based on this email. Actually, it's not getting filtered in my case. There is an error. I don't know why it's not filtering, because we follow the filtration option suggested by Google for filtering the real-time database. We have to debug this. Yeah. This is how we design the whole app flow, you know. Okay. Now, how we can debug when you start developing of this app? We have to see. Okay. Here, right, whenever you design the page, you can see the preview. If you click the preview, it will show like this only. But as a developer, this preview will not give a much information in order to debug what exact process happening on the backend. Then I suggested to use this open 3W3 link. If you open this, automatically it will open the app view link in the next tab it should be like this. Then I just change the URL. I just remove this URL until this app ID. I key entering this. Then you can see the login page. It will wait for 2 seconds. It will go into the login page. So, okay. For this debug process, I can tell you 2 things are important here. Okay. One is the console. Okay. So this console, and second one is the network. Yeah. What is use of this console? So whenever the process, whenever the process, backend process is happening, all the logs you can see here. I cannot say all the logs. Important logs we can see here. Okay, so that we can ensure, okay, so our logic is fine until this. Our logic is fine until this. Okay, issue exactly happen within this logic. Then we can easily know that, okay, this particular logic is creating an issue. Yeah. So that is the purpose we use the console. Then this network tab is used as to monitor the network related activities. When you try to log in, we are calling the API, you can notice the API related activities under this network. Let's say after keying the username and password, I'm clicking login. Okay, so see, this is the activity what we are doing when you try to log in. See, I'm just validating this user.json. Then I'm trying to get this information, this 4 information. Then what I will do, I will store it on the local table. This information we can see under this application. So there is so many existing tables are there. Maybe I will delete this in order to know the new one. Okay, I will just run again the app. User1.gmail, then abc1234 is the password. When I try to log in, I'm retrieving the information, I'm storing into the local table called L_user, Here we can see the local table information. See, these are the information I stored into the local table based on the API response. So from here, I can easily validate, okay, user entered, email is user1, Then password is ABC1234, right? Yeah, is the valid user. Based on this information, I allow them to view the menu page. So this is how we used to debug whenever you start building the logics with the eMOBIQ. Yeah, this will allow you to debug more and more about the eMOBIQ app in order to ensure the functionalities what you've done is correct or not. Yeah, so this is how we have to ensure this kind of debug process. Usually the developer should know. Yeah, so this actually is very simple. It's more about like the eMOBIQ is easy accessible by the users. Like it's a very easy debug process. We can see in the browser itself. So each action we can ensure, okay, this process is fine, this process is correct or not, something like this. Yeah. So I hope this information is more useful in order to know more detail about this app. Okay, so now Shamil already sent this app ID to you guys. So what we suggested to you guys that you can also open this eMOBIQ platform and try to see the logics what we written inside the apps, so that you also know, okay, so how the app logic is working. Yeah. So for later sessions, so we are going to show more details about this app. Maybe the next session is UI session. How this next session, our UI expert is going to explain you like how we can design the rich UI. Yeah, so he will give a basic meaning, that's how to create a standard UIs. Yeah, so this training maybe you can yeah. So for next coming week, our UI UX guy will provide you this kind of training. Then okay, for later sessions we will see more about this app, how we can store into the table, then how we can perform the insert, delete, and update kind of operation into the local table. Then when you try to call the API, then what kind of options, headers we have to pass in order to get the record response from the API. These and all the detailed stuffs we will going to see on coming weeks. I hope this week, for particular this session, right, I hope it's more useful for you guys to understand the app process. It's a real-time app. We have so many customer apps on the same recommend. Yes, so many customers, so many of Singapore customers are using this app. Similar kind of app. This one is just created for the demo purpose. That customer apps will have some more information. But the base concept is same lah. Yeah, it's a customer self-ordering. Okay. Yeah. So again, I'm saying this session. I hope it's more useful for you guys in order to know the app process and everything. So now we are.
Vetri, sorry, Vetri, can you just quickly show? I mean, any of the same app, you know, the full app. Just show the app so they know like what they are planning, what we're planning to build.
You mean full app? What
Yeah,
we
the full,
have?
the full sales. I mean, the customer self-ordering app.
Okay, for that, right? I need to know. Okay, fine. Wait. Yeah, I tried to. Okay, this one is our standard ISV solution. You can see it's a part of registration. We are getting more information, like we are just getting only the email, phone number, and email, password, and name, right? So we are getting more details for the registration. We have a fingerprint setup in order to validate the fingerprint. So after registration, then this will be the home page. We can see, user can see the list of items. This also is a kind of a listing screen. We can see. Then cart information have a more detailed information about. We can edit directly the quantity into the cart. Then we can remove the cart item also. Here in the below you can see, yeah, total amount, total items, total number of items, and total amount. There will be an option to check out, right? So checkout is another kind of a review process. You can see all the information. Then user can key in the remarks and PO number. We have a separate page for profile in order to see order history and language options. We have a logout option and about us, all the information. So I'm just go through the information first, then later I will run the app for you guys. Order details, the language setup. If they want to change password, we can do. Yeah, so related information, everything we have. Now I'm going to run this app. So this one is not you don't have the backend as a Firebase. This one is the backend is the dynamic business central. It's a ERP backend. So I'm just they already created this one. So I'm just trying to log in. Yeah, it's login, right? So you can see the list of items. So from here, actually it will show the favorite items. So some items is assigned for this particular user based on the order history. So if you frequently order any single item, right, it just ordered you the preferred item for you. All the e-commerce is working like this only, right? If you want to show all the items, you can click to show all the items. There is a search option we have here. Let's say if you type ring, it will only show the ring. Yeah, so you can key in the quantity or to cut one piece. If you go into the home, yeah, we can see like that. Then that is in the cart, we can say one item, right? There is a category wise item also we can see here. So it will just showing all the items. Then if you click the category, it will just displaying the category. You can choose the category. Then you can place the order. There is a 2 items, right? You have to click this cart. You can see these 2 items. If you want to remove from here, also you can remove. It will show you the pop-up to confirm. Then do the checkout. Here it will show all the information and tax related information, everything. Then just provide your remark. Okay. Urgent. Then PO number. If have the PO number, then submit. It will just posting all the information. See, order got successfully. Okay. So if you go into the account, right, order history, you can see all the created order here. So there is a status called open and release. This and all is more external information about the order in order to customer know, okay, this order got released. Released means it's ready to deliver something. Yeah. So this is how, this is the self-ordering ISV solution what Orange Cloud have for the backend BC, backend dynamic BC ERP. Yeah, you can see the process is almost same lah. Yeah, this app has some extended functionality like search and select item from category, and in the under account we can have all the change password options and order history option, everything. But process is similar to our CSO app based on our demo app. Yeah. So Shamil, is this enough for?
Yeah, that's perfect. So,
Okay.
so what we're trying to do is we're trying to see whether this particular or a similar kind of an app can be built, and you guys are actually going to build this app, like, after getting a full understanding of the logic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So next will be the
Thanks a lot, Vetri.
So next will be the Q&A session. Yeah, we can ask in case of any doubt or questions, anything.
Any questions?
Yeah, so it's a Q&A session now. So you all can have some, if you all have some question, you can bring it up now. You can raise up your hand. There's a raise hand at reaction there. If you want to raise up your hand, then I can unmute you, you can ask question. Or you do not want me to unmute you, then just type your question at the chat room. We will answer you. Shamil, do you see the chat room? There's one question from Gojier. Yeah.
Currently I'm reviewing. Okay. So okay, one person asked, will we be able to check with app you are showing? Yeah, you can check.
That is answered.
The answer, yeah.
Answer, right?
The question is on what is a map used for?
Yes, what is the map used for? Yeah.
Oh, what is map used for? Okay, this map, you mean the Google map, right? Google map, right? No, the one in action. Okay, fine. Okay, I understand. I think you're asking about this map. Okay, you're asking about this map. Actually, for this map function, right? This map function is kind of a loop function. So let's say you are retrieving the number of records. So we are processing record one by one, then we are inserting into the table. So that is the purpose I use the map function here. So similarly, you can see here under the tutorial, right? You just search map, then you can see the use of this. See description, loop through all the values in the array. Yeah. So once you loop, right? Let's say your value array is 111, 112, 113, right? So if you map this array, then you will get the input. The input is 1, 1, 1, 2, something like this. Yeah. It will allow, it will use to serialize the data what we have inside the array. So in our case, right, we are retrieving the information from backend. So our objective is to store into the local table. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting this map record one by one, and I'm just getting the list of data from backend. Then I just pass it into the map function. I'm just reading one by one, then I'm storing into the table. Yeah. So that is the purpose we use this map. It's a kind of a loop function. Yeah. So let's say, for example, if you want to show some array values, the collection value into the combo box, right? It's a combo box, right? We definitely use this function in order to add into the combo box, because this function only it will give you the record what we have, each record what we have in the array. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question. Is it fine, right?
So Ko-Jie-Chi, Web3 already. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Fine.
Is there any question? So there's a question from SC Tan, and Shamil already answer you. Is there a place to write custom code instead of doing flowchart? Yeah, okay, thanks, SC Chan. So SC Tan. So do you all still have any question to bring up? Or else we will end the session. So if there is no any question, then we shall end the session. So thank you so much to Shamil and also Web3 for today's session. So for the next session, we will announce in the WhatsApp group. So stay tuned with us. Okay. Have a nice weekend and see you again. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Eric.
Thank you.